Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Emily Hiles, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Colonel Frank Colley. We warmly welcome the family of Private John Tabner, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Club Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private John Tabner. John Tabner was born in 1875 to Thomas and Hannah Tabner of Ashton-under-Lyne, Lancashire, England. His father was a coal miner and his mother worked as a weaver in a cotton mill. John was the oldest son and he was apprenticed as an iron turner in his early teens, while his older sisters went on to become weavers in a cotton mill like their mother. Hannah Tabner died when John was 25, and he lived with his father and older sister until he married Emma Walton on the 1st of June 1901. They went on to have a son, followed by 2 daughters, and John continued to work as an iron turner. The Tabner family came to Australia around 1912 and moved to Kurri Kurri, near Maitland, New South Wales, where John took up work as a miner. War broke out 2 years later, but John was initially ineligible to serve due to his age. As enlistment standards relaxed, he successfully enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force in October 1916. Emma Tabner remained in Kurri Kurri, where she was a very active worker in the Red Cross Society for the duration of the war. Private John Tabner began training in Australia and left for service overseas in January 1917 aboard the troop ship Anchises. Assigned to the 33rd Battalion, he continued training on the Salisbury Plain for several months before joining his battalion in the battlefields on the Western Front in August 1917. On the 12th of October 1917, the 33rd Battalion took part in the Battle of Passchendaele. Initially in reserve, the battalion began taking casualties from German shell fire almost as soon as the attack went ahead. They were soon drawn into the fight, and by the end of the day had established new advanced positions. Some days after the attack at Passchendaele, while on his way back to the front line, Private John Tabner was struck by German artillery. He was rendered unconscious immediately, and those coming up behind him thought he'd been killed. They went on, but he was found to be alive by some stretcher bearers and was taken to a nearby casualty clearing station in a critical condition with severe wounds to his neck. John Tabner died in the casualty clearing station not long after his arrival. He was buried in the Lysenhoek Military Cemetery, where he lies today under the words, "Sadly missed." He was 42 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. A photograph of his headstone is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private John Tabner, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over, but in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director and staff, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support of the Memorial's development project. We particularly appreciate your visit despite the challenges posed by COVID, and we wish you all a very pleasant evening.